Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new round here. And let's dive into today's video. It's going to be a bit of a Chelsea news video, rounding up some of the news that has come out over the last 24 hours or so. Starting with the fact that after the defeat against Brentford, we had, of course, the news that Chelsea were looking to sign another centre-back in 2024. We got a bit more meat to the bones of that one, with Fabrizio Romano confirming that Chelsea obviously looking into signing a new centre-back because of the decision to sell Trevor Chalobah in January. Chelsea will look at opportunities in the January window, and one player to watch is Edmund Tapsoba of Bayer Leverkusen. Now, of course, he's been linked with Spurs and Manchester United before. I think Chelsea may well have been linked with him in the past also. But yeah, look, in terms of a new centre back, I mean, I don't necessarily need a new centre back. You could argue, well, why bother even selling Trevor Chalobah in the first place? What about Bashir Humphreys when he comes back from loan? But if I sort of look into it in a bit more depth and kind of weigh it up, so at the moment, obviously, we've got Fofana, Badiashile, Colwell, Silva, Disasi, and Chalobah. That's six. So Chalobah goes, that's five. We don't need six centre backs for a back four. You probably need five, I reckon. And it's more than likely going to be Thiago Silva's last season. So I'm not saying that this should be a priority, but if we're looking to kind of get ahead of the game, bring someone in, even if it's a deal like we did similar with Gusto, agree a deal in January for them to arrive in the summer, then I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. But we always seem to be linked with centre backs, and we always seem to be signing fucking centre halves when our biggest issue is we need someone to put the fucking ball into the back of the net. But look, I think Tapsoba is someone who's a talented defender, obviously young, kind of mid, like sort of early to mid 20s, fits the age profile that we're looking for. Someone that can come in and can obviously develop his game under Pochettino and whoever else it may be in the following years. I think a move would potentially make sense, whether it's Tapsoba, whether it's someone else. I guess Chelsea probably do need another centre half in the next 12 to 18 months to combat the loss of Chalobah and combat the loss of Thiago Silva. But it seems mad. We've signed so many centre halves over recent time. You know, we've signed Silva on a free. Obviously, we've signed Badiashile. We've signed Disasi. We've signed Wesley Fofana. You know, that's four right there in the space of a couple of years. We're looking at maybe a fifth now to come in Edmund Tapsoba or whoever it may be. I mean, you could say, well, why don't we use Bashir Humphreys? But look, I think ultimately, as well as Bashir Humphreys, he's having a very good loan spell at Swansea as well at the moment. Two things: is he good enough to really make it in the first team at Chelsea? And again, another one of those that we looked at as pure profit for the books, whether you like it or not. Again, it'll be another African player coming to Chelsea. African players have had a good record at Chelsea, good history at Chelsea. Drogba, Essien, Eto'o, etc. You know, we've had some good African players at the club, so Tapsoba would potentially become another one. But in terms of going for another centre back, as I was saying, like, it doesn't scream immediate priority for me. But there is an acceptance and a realization that we probably do in the next 12 to 18 months, as I was saying, need to get one. So we can do something in January for the summer or do something in January anyway, allow someone 6 months to bed in so they're kind of used to the club and the surroundings, and then they can really step on and get more minutes next season. Then I think it's something that we should maybe potentially look at. That much is absolutely clear for me. So let's wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, link Chelsea and centre backs and signing centre backs is they're never too far away from each other, those two things. And then obviously another report coming out on that one as we obviously get closer towards that January transfer window. The next thing I wanted to talk about is obviously a centre forward and our desperate need for one, which became abundantly clear, if it wasn't already clear, after yesterday's defeat to Brentford. So Fabrizio Romano again saying in one of his YouTube videos that Chelsea's striker will be Chelsea's priority in 2024. Chelsea also looking at centre-backs. Of course, we've seen that based on opportunities. Chelsea and United, as called, are monitoring talented centre-backs around Europe. So we obviously know that. And it's clear that, I mean, unless Chelsea have got someone else in mind, Ivan Toney is going to be that guy. And Chelsea in January have to go out and get someone that can score goals and someone that is ready and proven and at the top level right now. We cannot go and sign someone that might be good in a few years, or a prospect. It has to be a finished article, a proven player, someone that's been around the block, someone that knows exactly what they're doing and can come in and make an instant impact. Doesn't need sort of a settling in period or anything like that. And Ivan Toney ticks all those boxes. I mean, someone tried to tell me he wasn't prolific, and I'm thinking, have you been watching what we've got at the club? And how can you say that 20 goals in the Premier League is not prolific? Only Haaland and Kane scored more goals than him last season. So I don't know how people are trying to tell me that he's not prolific. But again, we've got the opportunity to go and get a real striker in January. We have to go for it. Not real striker, not someone who's going to be good in 5 years' time. Real striker right now. That is the absolute key. And Ivan Toney ticks all those boxes for me. And I think it would be a really shrewd signing. Yes, we'd have to get ahead of the curve. Yes, we'd have to obviously put a lot of groundwork in. I think the club are putting groundwork in as we speak. Toney would be open to the move. He'd be happy to stay in London. But at the same time, at 27 going on 28, this will be his big move in his career. And we need to make sure that come Christmas or the new year that we are either in those Champions League spaces, which looks a fucking long shot right now, or within touching distance of them, to sort of show him that, we will be playing some form of European football next season. We will get back into the Champions League, and he can play that football. But I just look at Toney and I think he's perfect for what we're looking to do. We're going to get elite chance creation from the likes of your Cole Palmers, your Mudriks, your Raheem Sterlings at times, your Enzo Fernandez from deep in midfield. We're going to get top level chance creation, and we need someone to be on the end of it and put the ball in the net. And Ivan Toney is that guy. I look at him and he fits the profile of striker that's been successful at Chelsea over the years. Physical, strong, good hold-up play, good link-up play. Obviously, he's got an eye for goal, finish, good at penalties, etc. Good in the air. He ticks all the boxes. That for me, there are literally zero downsides to Chelsea signing Ivan Toney. Yes, obviously, it won't be one of those 8-year contracts. It'll probably be maybe a 4 or a 5-year deal at 27 going on 28. But he's still got a lot of good years left in him. And I think he's the perfect guy to lead the line for Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea and get us the goals that our play and the chances we've created that have deserved. Because I really do believe, despite how the number of poor results we've picked up, how far down the table we are, how far off the pace we are, and how disappointing the start to the season's been, it is fine margins. And I do firmly believe that if we had a striker that could put the ball in the back of the net, we'd be in a lot better position than we are right now. But we simply don't have that. We didn't address it in the summer. I don't want to be too harsh on Nicholas Jackson, because he wasn't supposed to be the first choice centre forward for Chelsea this season. He was going to be an option, someone for the future, someone that we were going to bed in over the course of this season. But as it transpired, we didn't sign anyone in the summer. Yes, the striker market wasn't the best, but I still feel we could have definitely bought someone in. And now that the impetus has been left on Jackson, yes, within Nkunku's injury, that hasn't helped either. I think Nkunku would have played quite a lot up there. And I think it's clear to me as well that Nicholas Jackson is a partner striker. He needs someone to play up alongside him, or someone to play off him with. We saw decent link up with Nkunku. We've seen decent link up with Mudryk in the preseason. I know it's preseason, but Ivan Toney, for me, he ticks those boxes, and I honestly can't see how it doesn't work. And I know that could be famous last words if he does end up coming, because of the amount of strikers that have come to Chelsea and been an absolute disaster. But I really do believe that we are really a centre forward away from being a lot further at the table and turning a lot of these losses into wins, or certainly into draws and not 3 points dropped. So we've got to find a way to get by until January. Obviously, Nkunku hopefully fit after the November international break. We don't want to put too much pressure on him. He's got to have to be eased back in as well, and he might take a little bit of time to adapt. But we've got to find something. Jackson's got to develop his game more. He's got to become more clinical, more ruthless, etc. We need Mudryk to continue his good contribution. We need Palmer to continue his good form. Sterling to step up on a more consistent basis, and maybe we can try and solve some of those goal scoring issues and maybe get us back. Maybe get us through to January still intact with those Champions League spaces. But Ivan Toney, for me, is absolutely the answer that we need. I think he's a top player, massively underrated. I feel, in my opinion, is a lot better than people give him credit for. And I think he's the striker that Chelsea have been crying out for. and the striker that will fire us up the table and get us into those Champions League qualification places. I feel quite happy sitting here saying that, but it's going to take a lot of hard work to get him in, and we've got to hold up our part of the bargain and try and put ourselves in a decent position come January to try and obviously convince him of joining. But yeah, guys, that's just a bit of a Chelsea news roundup. My thoughts on Ivan Toney, my thoughts on a centre-back situation. As always, make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll catch you again in another video soon. Up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.